Hey, it's Craig from Toivo Healing From Within. We're going to continue the learning experience of what it's like to go to drum circles for the first time. But once we get back to being together with other human beings, I highly encourage you to visit a real drum circle. These tips for today will be what I call drum circle etiquette. How to really enjoy and contribute to a drum circle. Number one, you don't need a drum to go to a drum circle. As a drum circle facilitator, I always bring extra drums, and I encourage you to try different drums. Even if you have your own drum, bring it for sure. Every time you go to a drum circle, you're going to see a beautiful variety of shapes and sizes and sounds. And I highly encourage with every song that you play, try a different instrument, right? Along those same lines, I encourage you to look around the drum circle and think about what's not being played, right? Everybody's got djembes. 40 djembes in one room is going to do nothing but cause headaches. So look around the room, and are there anybody playing shakers? Is there anyone tapping a cowbell? Look for things that are missing, and add that flavor, because it'll be a unique sound, obviously, but it also just kind of brings a variety of ensemble music making that just kind of feels missing when it's just all djembes, right? Also, pick up a percussion instrument, not a hand drum, but some sort of percussion instrument like a shaker or something you can tap on lightly with a stick. When your hands start to get tired of playing with your hands. If you're just playing a hand drum, pounding on that drum, especially if it tends to be a louder, bigger group, you're going to find your hands start to hurt. And if your hands hurt, you're probably playing too loud. So that's another thing. Listen to yourself in comparison to the rest of the group. Compare your volume. Be aware of your volume. Can you be heard? And if not, ramp it up a little bit. If you can't hear all the other players around you, you're probably playing too loud. So turn it down. And we change the volume. These things have a volume knob on them, and they're called your hands. Just tap lightly or tap harder, and that adjusts the volume. Now, when you're just getting started, when a drum circle is just getting started, and when a new rhythm is just being played, I want you to listen. Don't play just yet. Really kind of listen. Wait for the solid rhythm to establish, and typically the facilitator is doing that. Listen to the facilitator, play along with the leader, and begin lightly, quietly, and as you build confidence with the rhythm and your own playing, then you can kind of play a little bit louder. And the beautiful thing about playing with a group is you can strike up conversations musically with other instruments if you leave space for it. You can't make a conversation if you're just going constantly. But you can you can vary your volume. You can drop it down, bring it up, drop it down, bring it up. When you go quiet or even silent, you can stop playing in the middle of a rhythm. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da. Listen. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. Listen. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba. And listen. When you do that, you're actually creating conversation, because other drummers will notice, hey, there's a quieter moment there. And all of a sudden, they hit their little solo. You're hitting ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, and then all of a sudden, across the circle, you hear ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba, and it becomes a conversation. And that can be a lot of fun. And so the only way to do that is to quiet your playing within the rhythm, or leave complete space.
And when you're ready, go ahead and tap that in.
You don't have to play the exact same thing that the leader plays unless they assign that to the group, but definitely you want to play something that goes along with the facilitator, right? And you never want to start a rhythm before the facilitator begins. I've seen countless times where you've got one or two drummers that just can't stop. We call them percussion puppies, right? Because they have that puppy energy. They just want to keep going and going. And a lot of times we stop to reset and begin a new song. And in between those spaces, it's time for the facilitator to explain what's about to happen or tell a story. And you don't want to play, even lightly tap your drum while someone is talking, for obvious reasons. But also, it's kind of rude to begin your own rhythm when the facilitator probably has a song or a rhythm or a game in mind that's about to begin, and that's going to be disruptive if you're tapping away. Just be patient, enjoy the silence in between the songs, because it does tend to get a little loud, and that leads to my next advice, which is wear earplugs if it's a big loud drum circle. After doing this for 20-something years, I am having trouble with my ears, especially my left ear. It tends to get loud, so if it's a big one, you'll probably want to put some earplugs in, and they're pretty cheap. My best advice for people who are brand new to this and are used to maybe reading music off the sheet, or are self-analyzing and critical of, oh, I don't have rhythm, I have really terrible rhythm. Oh no, I want to start with consider this a clean slate, where you want to just play. I mean, this is play. You don't want to think too much. You just want to, literally close your eyes, put your hands on the drum. You're going to feel the rhythm, vibration from the other drums in the room on the head of your drum, right? If you just put your fingers lightly on the top of your drum and let everybody else in the group play, you're going to feel that rhythm pulsing, vibrating through your drum. If you ever get lost, or if you're not sure what to play, or if you're feeling self-conscious, stop, listen, put your fingers on the head of the drum lightly, and you're going to feel that rhythm, and just start over, again, lightly bringing the rhythm back into your drum. There's no need for perfection here. We're not about perfection when we do any of these drum circles. And unless you're in a performing group that is rehearsing for a show, this is not about perfection. This is not about having, an orchestra that can play everything note for note. Drum circles don't work that way. We are highly encouraging improvisation, playfulness, and musical connection. Change is good. You don't want to sit down in a drum circle and play the same rhythm for an hour. It should be constantly changing and morphing, and it's often mistakes that lead to those changes, and that's a beautiful thing. And then my last piece of advice is an important one. Put the drum down and dance, okay? For some reason, Connecticut, there's not a lot of people who come to our drum circles and dance. Whereas you go to Sarasota, Florida, and there are 100 dancers on the beach with 50 drummers. And that's how this all started back in Africa. The drummers played for the dancers. And I highly encourage, if you like to dance, if you love African music, just put the drum down and dance once in a while. And or you don't even have to bring a drum. Just come to a drum circle to dance, because they are always highly danceable, right? So that's it for this learning session. And so next week we'll get back to sharing rhythms that you can play along with. Thanks.